Now, of course, I'm not going to spoil the movie, but after you see it, you're definitely going to look at Campbell's Soup in a different way. Probably a negative way. Weapons stars Julia Garner and is about when all but one child from the same class mysteriously vanish on the same night at the exact same time. From writer and director Zach Cregger, the man that brought you Barbarian, we're talking his brand new movie, Weapons. So this has easily been one of my most anticipated movies of the entire year for so many different reasons. So let's just list them off. First things first, Zach Cregger, who did Barbarian. I love Barbarian. It is easily one of the best cult classic horror movies to come out in the last 5 years. We need a physical release of that movie, damn it. But also, when he wrote this movie, Weapons, there was a bidding war for this movie, and Warner Brothers won and paid $38 million for it, losing out to Jordan Peele and Universal, who Jordan Peele was like, you lost to this script, I want to part ways with you. That's how good this script was, apparently. And then, of course, the marketing. The marketing won everyone over with just kids running around like Naruto in the dark, disappearing. That idea, that imagery, it was disturbing. And again, it's from the guy who made Barbarian, a movie that is batshit crazy. You never know what's coming next. So, I was excited to see this movie, and I finally got to see it. And man, oh man, I don't want to be that person that says, remember last year when everyone was like, Long Legs is the scariest movie of the year, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to say Weapons is the scariest movie I've ever seen. But damn, this is a unique, fun, original new horror movie that I implore you all to go and see in a movie theater with a crowd. Weapons goes in so many directions, and I'm going to do my very best in this review to really not give you any type of hints or spoilers or anything like that. So, of course, let's begin with the pauses. First things first, Zach Cregger, you're 2 for 2 for directing. I mean, this movie is so beautiful to look at. The coloring, the lighting, the cinematography is absolutely hauntingly gorgeous. I love so many shots. How the camera moves and the blocking of it through a household and creepy imagery of people running and doing it in one take. It is tremendous stuff. Seriously, this production, this crew deserves a round of applause. The cinematographer, Zach Cregger, it really puts you in, it doesn't hide anything. It puts it in your face. It lets you know you're going to see some weird shit in this movie. And I love that for a horror film. Zach Cregger, you're seriously making me so excited for your Resident Evil movie now. And it also comes to the script. This movie, I mean, again, this is the first 30 seconds. Even before you see a frame in this movie, a narration starts from a little girl, and it literally is telling you what you know. At 2:17 a.m., a bunch of kids from one certain classroom got up out of their beds and left their homes. You don't know why. And now we got to figure out what's going on. It instantly puts you in a way of, what is going on? This is just weird. It's haunting. Zach Cregger's script keeps it interesting. Now, I'm not going to say it's like Barbarian, where there's a part in the movie where it just stops and changes everything. This movie, and this is very, very minor, is told in chapters of different characters' point of view, which I will say right now for a slight negative. I have never been a fan of that type of storytelling where it's different characters or it's told out of order. This movie isn't really told out of order. It tells one story, but before the third act happens, you get each character's point of view of a situation that leads up to the final 30 minutes. I thought it was really well done. The editing was tremendous. And the movie, when they change people's point of view, it happens in points of the movie. You're like, what the fuck did I just watch? And then they're like, oh yeah, now go to this character. And then another what the fuck moment. And it all leads to just a really fun third act. And like I said, Zach Cregger come from a comedian background. this movie's funny. And there's a few parts where it might be funny and it's trying to be scary. A lot of like the running was kind of funny looking, whatever. But there's moments in this movie, my theater was gut-busting laughing. And I joined them. There is one part at the very end, you'll know, it is so funny. It is just a visual, hilarious moment. And I think it was really well done. And the movie also keeps you wondering, because I will say this, it is a horror movie, and there are some bloody parts of this movie, but in reality, it's a mystery. And with obviously Julia Garner as our teacher, she's fantastic. You got freaking Alden Ehrenreich, he's really good. Josh Brolin's in this movie. There really is no main character. Like I said, it's different point of views from different characters. I really just was sucked into this world, the mystery of what is going on. And then by the third act, the reveal itself, at first, I was like, what? Is that really? But the way they do it, and the way it's shown to you, not just explained, there's never a person that's like, all right, here's what's happening. It's just showing you. I really appreciate it. Again, it's a movie where a second viewing might help me a bunch because, again, like I said, it's told from different point of views at different points in the day that leads to the third act. So a second viewing is going to be even more enjoyable, which now I get to my only little negative, and that really is the pacing and the ending. The movie it's slow. I'll say for 2 hours and 8 minutes, it felt longer than that. And the last 50 seconds of this movie, the narration comes back and then it ends. It felt a little rushed. I was like, oh, like I would have liked one more like frame or one little thing just shown to us. Like the narration wraps up a few things and then just like, oh, it's over. For the whole third act, it never is trying to explain anything to you, and it just kind of just happens. The last 30 seconds is like, all right, here's the narration. All right, let's end the movie. It was a bit abrupt. And like I said, the pacing of the movie, I'm always intrigued, but it definitely felt long, I will say. It felt like a long movie. But again, that it probably does a lot with like a lot of characters, different settings. And like I said, you're laughing, you're intense, you're jumping all the time. Like my whole theater, there was plenty of moments my whole theater jumped. And I was sucked into this movie. It felt unique. It felt different. And that's what Barbarian did. And I know some of you are like, what's better, Barbarian or this? I just saw this movie, so I'm not ready to say anything yet, but Weapons is a damn good movie. And another thing that I learned, Zach Cregger was part of the music. The score to this movie, the score to this movie is so good. Oh my gosh. And I made a movie recently, and there's one scene where the music sounded just like my movie. I was like, I'm in love. Okay, Weapons, like I said, I'm not going to try to talk too much about it. Go and see it if you're a horror fan. Go and see it if you want to see just a unique movie, because that is this movie. I'm going to give Weapons an A. And I know I just praised this movie. I just gave it a really high grade. It's easily one of my favorite movies of the year. But I want to give everyone just a little bit of a warning. Do not go into this movie expecting all of like the 98% Rotten Tomatoes. Don't expect the scariest movie of all time. Like, this movie at its core is a mystery with more horror elements, but like it is a thriller mystery in my opinion. And I was sucked into the story. I really wanted to see what was going to happen next, because the whole time I'm like, where did the kids go? What happened? And like I said, there's maybe like a few things that like were a little confusing, but I really feel like a second viewing might help. So we'll see when that happens, but I definitely want to see this one again. I hope I get to see it again in the theater, honestly. Anyway, guys, if you guys enjoyed this movie review, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.